Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to achieve their personal success stories that include joy, fulfillment, and balance. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease, be successful, and enjoy your life. My happy place is spending as much time in my PJs as humanly possible. And I want to help other women find their happy space while running profitable businesses or having a successful career. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danni D, always here helping you to find that space of balance, of ease, of joy, fulfillment in your everyday life so that you are not waiting for some random, occurrence to happen that's going to be the point where you get to enjoy life, right? You want to enjoy it right now. So, today, I want to talk to you about a piece of advice that I gave somebody this week, but also that I am, clinging to for my own current situation. So, the piece of advice was that sometimes for, growth, for you to do big things, sometimes you have to slow down. And, I know success loves speed. I know that there's all these other, things around taking action. And I'm not trying to stop those people because there's some people who are um who have been, sitting on something for way too long. This not for y'all. If that's you, this is not for you. This is not the conversation for you. This is the conversation for the person that is at the, height of something, that is in the midst of something, that is in that feeling of overwhelm, that, there's just too many things going on at one time. It's hard to, focus, concentrate. This is for you. This is for you because again, that person that's been looking for an excuse to keep sitting, I'm not giving you that excuse today. I'm sorry. Get out there, get into action. But if you are in a state where it just seems like everything is going on, there's too much happening, this advice is for you. This advice of, slowing down to be able to then speed up, accelerate in your life, in your business. And I'll share, how it applies to me, and I'm sure that it applies to others as well. So right now, I have a lot of things going on, and I have two businesses, right? So a lot of things going on in both of the businesses at the same time, plus apparently now I'm, mom Uber and all these other things going on. And in the midst of that, I always have to remind myself because no matter how balanced, no matter how much you detox your calendar, because y'all know that that's one of the things I help people with, there are always going to be busy seasons. Now, that should not be every season, every day, but there are always going to be busy seasons where it just seems like there's so much happening at one time. That's usually the time that one, you need to slow down because you don't want to commit to more things, right? You're already overcommitted. So you don't want to commit to more things than you can handle. But two, sometimes it's not the amount of things, sometimes it's also our perspective. So whenever I start feeling that way, I do take a step back and I start breaking it down into, okay, here are the steps. This is what needs to be done. And this is what's most urgent. This is what is, wait till this afternoon or tomorrow. And this is what I can't deal with it right now. So like, once I reach that point, I know that I don't have the capacity to take on anything new. And so I don't. Like, this is it. This is the end. Um, And then I have to assess of the things that I have, what is the best way to work through this in a way that is not going to be as overwhelming. So there's going to be a lot of work, but where are the breaks? Where are the small chunks that I can, look at and say, okay, well, I can knock this out and then I can do this, then I can do this, and I'll be done with that task. Now I'll move on to this task. So it's, my mind works, not surprisingly, my mind works in operations and systems. So that's how I deal with those things. I break them down into manageable things and into ways that make sense, that I'm not making it harder on myself than it needs to be. When it comes to bigger picture, right? Like, because I'm just speaking about a season, but some of us are not in a place where it's a season. Some of us are in a place where it's a life. And when it comes to bigger things, sometimes we need to take a step back. So we need to put everything on pause, take a step back from all the things so that we can then manage the things, right? And again, that looks like coming, pulling back, breaking it down into smaller pieces, and a lot of times getting rid of the things that don't make sense, creating systems for the things that do make sense, because systems put you in a position of freeing up your time. If you have a system of how something goes, it goes much more smoothly than if you're just doing it, without thinking about what makes the most sense, right? So you may be wasting time because you went over here to do this thing and you didn't think about, well, I have to do this other thing in that same part of town. So let's do those things together. And that may sound silly, right? When you talk about it in this way, but we do it in our businesses every day. We do it in our businesses every day where we're, jumping from this to that, to this to that without any real system to it. And therefore, we're wasting a lot of our energy, a lot of our time when we could be moving more efficiently. So don't be afraid of the slowdown, because the slowdown provides the opportunity to speed up without burning out, right? Because you can, I saw a comment somewhere and the person said that they basically walked away from their business because they couldn't figure out how to do how to expand the business further without putting in more work, without taking on more jobs. And they did not have the capacity to take on more jobs. That's where systems come into place. That's where operations come into place. That's where, calendar detox comes into place. That's where all those things come into play, because they give you the mechanism. And I'm going to add to that pricing as well, because sometimes we're not pricing ourselves in a way that allows growth, because our price is so low that we have to do so much just to reach our goal. But I'm saying all that to say that growth is not just getting more business, right? You can get all the business in the world, but if you don't have the infrastructure to maintain that business, you will lose that business. Because you're not providing the service, the quality that that client is looking for. You're not going to be able to keep that client. So you have to have the infrastructure. It's like I'm thinking about like when they build, highways and stuff like that. You can get on the interstate and go, I don't know what you're supposed to drive. I almost said the wrong numbers. Have the people come look for me, but 65, let's say that. Like you can go on the interstate and drive 65. Now you're not supposed to drive 65 in a neighborhood because it's not built for that. If you want your business to be built to be the interstate, you have to build the interstate first, right? You have to build the infrastructure that allows it. And that to do that, you have to be able to pull back, slow down, and be thoughtful about where you're going. You have to be thoughtful about how you need things to run in order for you to be able to reach those heights and reach those goals. So don't be afraid of the slowdown because it's so important for your growth. It's so important for you to be able to expand. I know that even in this busy season, without the systems that I already have in place, I would probably be losing it. Like I probably would not be able to keep up with what needs to happen. So, from a system standpoint, you need to definitely slow down and be thoughtful about how you're going to proceed. From a personal standpoint, you need to be realistic about what your needs are, rest, rejuvenation, all of those things, so that in performing, you're performing in excellence, that you're not. And when I say that, I want to be clear. What I mean by that is when you are overwhelmed, you're not bringing your best energy to a situation. You're going to be a little cranky. You're going to be a little frustrated. You are not in a position to think things through in the best possible way. So you want to make sure that you are not putting yourself in a position where you are your own frustration, where you are your own overwhelm because you're not being able to slow down and you have to let go of that fear. I think that there is fear associated with slowing down and you know, losing things, losing the opportunity or losing whatever it is, right? You risk losing it anyway if you don't slow down because are you going to be able to meet the opportunity with the best version of yourself? But when you do take that moment to slow down, when you come back, it's an alignment thing. All of the things that are supposed to happen fall into place and fall into alignment because now you have the capacity to handle those things. And you'll be surprised how the floodgates open when you, it's like I can't think of the name of the movie. They said when when if you build it, they will come. You gotta build it. You have to build that infrastructure that allows for you to create that grand experience, that luxury brand experience, right? Um, several years ago, I taught luxury brand experience, and I'm about to teach it again um, for my balloon community in Atlanta in September, and I'm excited about bringing that back to light because it's so important. You create that experience and that connection, that brand loyalty by being able to be present, right? When you extend yourself beyond your bandwidth, you're not present. So take a moment, slow down, whether that's in a big picture and you need to really sit back and focus on your business and where that business is going. That's one way. Another way is when you are just in day to day. Like, this morning I'm looking at my to-do list and I'm like, oh, that's a lot that has to happen before you hit the bed tonight. And even in that, taking a moment, taking some breath, slowing down, and breaking it into digestible pieces because it is possible, but overwhelm can set in when we're trying to do it all without a plan. All I'm asking you is to slow down and make a plan. All right. That's what I have for you. Like I said, if you are in the balloon or events community, come out to we got an all-star roster for the Inflate Your Income conference that's going to be in Atlanta in September. I'll put the link in the show notes. If you are trying to get through that overwhelm and you're stuck on that, the Calendar Detox Challenge starts on June 1st. So there's a few more days, there's a few more seats available for that. So you can jump in so we can peel all that stuff back. So we can, really pull everything back to what is aligned so that you can be moving more comfortably, more confidently, more with more ease and less of that overwhelm. It's where not overwhelm, but like busyness is a season, not a daily thing where you are, you know, you of course are doing the work, you are, doing all those things, but not having to feel so bogged down in the process. That's what working with ease is all about. So that's coming up. And I think that's all I got for you for this week. I will see you guys next week. I have a great guest episode that's going to air next week. So y'all want to be there for that. And I will see you next week. Thanks for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with these. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For more information about creating balance in your life, register for my upcoming Calendar Detox Challenge at CoachDanniD.com. Don't forget to subscribe, join the community, and book a call to find the workflow program that best fits your needs.